aming pinaglalaban bakit napakalaki ng budget na ibinigay sa Kongreso. Pangalawa is bakit na-retain yung AKAP, no? Uh, it was not even requested by no less than the DSWD. And alam mo yan, nakakalungkot yung AKAP na yan dahil nagiging malaking issue na yan dahil sa ngayon ang AKAP, ginawa yung AKAP na yan na walang appropriate na guidelines.
All right, let's start off, sir. I'm holding a copy of your open letter to the President. And can you tell us what is it about and what's the agenda? What's the point of this, sir?
Now, we're just being factual about it. The ANIM, members of the ANIM actually got in touch with me and they requested that I help them, bring this matter to the President. So I affixed my signature. And basically, we are questioning all the insertions in the budget, the variations at the same time, the insertions that were included, which actually significantly increased the budget. And at the same time, we are also questioning the insertions of certain funds like AKAP, which was not even requested by no less than the SWD. Another is the additional budget for DPWH, which was not also requested by the Secretary of DPWH. Another is the huge reduction in the budget of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and of course the MUFI fund, and among others.
Sir, just to give context to this manifesto po, there are 200 of you who signed this open letter to the President. Sabi niyo po, ANIM reached out to you. Ano po ba itong ANIM, sir? At paano po nabuo itong around 200 signatures na ito?
Alam mo itong ANIM, ito yung mga advocates ng advocates for reform, and is composed of several many of them are actually retired generals. Some of them are also from the business sector. And I believe the group was launched, the ANIM movement, sometime in September or October.
And usually, sir, Sir Benji, when the military or the police make statements about issues, talagang nagkakaroon ng concern. Hindi lang siguro sa part ng administration, but sa public as well. Can you shed light to this, sir?
Alam mo, nagkakaroon din kami ng mga consultation, nakikipag-usap din kami sa mga, hindi lang sa mga retired personnel, ganun na rin. Nakikipag-usap din kami sa mga active personnel at kinukuha rin namin yung kanilang mga sentimiento. Kaya hindi lang ito sentimiento ng mga retirees. Sentimiento to basically ng, kumbaga parang kami lang ang nagiging sounding board both by the retirees and active personnel.
And for the record, sir, walang malaking politician behind your group?
Ay, wala naman. Ako lang yata ang politician dito. Nandito eh. But I'm not talking like a politician or as a politician. I'm talking as a former member of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and a former member of the Philippine National Police.
All right, sir. In your open letter, you made important points po, no? The bicameral conference committee budget version is not responsive to the needs of the public. You said here that there are unjustified budget increases, insertion of AKAP fund, like what you mentioned, severe reduction to critical departments like the health department and the education department and the AFP modernization program. How critical are these budget or line items po?
Alam mo, tulad ng, let's first discuss yung Armed Forces of the Philippines. They have been requesting about 50 million. And then suddenly, they were only given 35 million, a reduction of about 15 billion. Malaki yung 15 billion. Because the 15 billion actually will cover also other items that are actually critical to the modernization of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Like for example, cyber systems, itong aviation nila, aviation and engineering, additional aircraft. Basically, it's designed to strengthen our capability to fight external forces or forces that tends to malign our integrity, territorial integrity and sovereignty. Another is, alam mo ba yung 15 million, kasali na rin sana dyan yung increase ng subsistence allowance ng ating mga military personnel. From 150 to 350, that's an additional 200 pesos per day. But I heard from reliable source na naayos naman yan. Naayos naman yan. So ang isa sa mga contention lang namin dyan is why the reduction of 15 billion when in fact, now that we are facing a formidable enemy, especially in the WPS, saka naman i-reduce yung ating budget. Another is itong DPWH. Why the big increase of about 288 billion pesos? Na alam naman natin kung saan nanggagaling yung mga pork barrel at saan nilalagay yung mga pork barrel. And one of the favorite department where pork barrel is actually park, yung tinatawag nilang nakapark, is dun sa DPWH fund na ang paborito nila dyan is yung mga projects na tulad ng flood control, road opening, asphalt overlay, yung mga road safety devices tulad ng itong cat's eye at itong road safety barriers na talagang bloated and overpriced, significantly overpriced. At dyan na rin kinukuha dyan yung mga porsyento na halos ang naiiwan na lang sa project is about 30% based doon sa mga computation na ginawa ko dati. Another is itong DOTR. Alam mo, napakalaki na nga ng problema natin sa DOTR, lalo-lalo na yung sa ating mga facilities sa airports, sa ports, and at the same time, yung ating jeepney modernization. Pero bakit ang laki naman ng ibinawa sa kanila from, I believe, from 180 billion, naging 90-something billion na lang ang naiwanan. So, another is itong, DepEd, na kami sa local government, nakikita namin na kakulangan talaga ng classroom, kakulangan ng upuan, kakulangan ng mga materyales para sa mga estudyante. Tapos kami nakakaramdam na every time na nagkakaroon ng opening, na-frustrate kami dahil kulang ang classroom, kulang ang school buildings. Tapos babawasan pa ng ganun kalaki. At malalaman na lang namin na idinagdag pala doon sa budget ng House of Representatives, adding about 17 billion at another 1 point something billion for the Senate. Na alam naman natin na itong mga pondo na to dapat talaga nauuna muna yung mga tao sa laylayan.
Yan nga po yung gusto natin alam.
Talaga.
Yan nga po yung, would you know if your letter ever reached the office of the President? Did someone from Malacanang reach out to your group to talk about their plans for the budget?
Well, alam mo, George, I just would like to clarify that I'm not a member of the board of ANIN. I'm just a supporter of ANIN.
Okay.
So, another is I'm not really aware if that letter was able to reach the office of the President.
All right.
But it is an open letter.
It's
an
open
letter. So I assume someone in the office of the President was able to inform, no less than the President.
Sir, your recommendation in that letter is to return the budget to Congress for further discussion. But it did not happen. The President signed and vetoed some line items, 26 billion from DPWH, mostly flood control projects, and 168 billion on program funds. What do you think, sir, about that?
Well, alam mo, naintindihan naman namin ng Presidente kasi time sensitive na yon. Pag hindi niya napirmahan ng December 31, then magkakaroon tayo ng mawawalan tayo ng budget at i-adapt natin yung program sa previous budget. Ito yung tinatawag nating may tawag tayo doon sa ganun But reenacted budget.
Reenacted budget, sir. Yes.
Yes, oo. So we understand. Kaya lang nakakalungkot nga talaga na kumbaga kulang. Siguro for some reasons may rason naman ng ating presidente pero may kakulangan ng action para para ayusin mabuti yung ating budget. Siguro kinukulang siya ng oras na rin. No? Dahil nga, siyempre, alam mo, ah, holiday season. Pero pinaka-importante ito, lalo-lalo na dun sa budget na napunta dun sa Kongreso. Yun ang aming pinaglalaban. Bakit napakalaki ng budget na ibinigay sa Kongreso? Pangalawa is, bakit na-retain yung AKAP? No? It was not even requested by no less than the DSWD. And alam mo yan, nakakalungkot siyang AKAP na yan dahil nagiging malaking issue na yan dahil sa ngayon, ang AKAP, ginawa yung AKAP na yan na walang appropriate na guidelines. Ngayon palang gagawan ng guidelines. Ano?
Well,
Maganda nga yung move ng ating presidente na sabi niya, we will only release the AKAP once there are definitive guidelines. Ano? Pero paano yung mga previous AKAP na nirelease na walang definitive na guidelines?
earlier,
So, nakikita mo rito parang nagiging politics for mendicancy. So, nandun pa rin yung pork barrel, nandun pa rin yung tinatawag nating politics of mendicancy. In short, nandyan yung pumapasok uli yung corruption na nangyayari sa buong natin, sa buong sistema na hanggang ngayon pinaglalaban ng anim yan. Yan ang talagang isa sa mga target ng anim yung corruption. Isa yan sa mga advocacy. Kaya lang nakakalungkot nga na dito sa budget, diyan nag-umpisa pa rin sa budget. Napakalaki pa rin nung potential na makumit pa rin uli ang corruption.
Mayor Magalong, some critics would say that this 2025 budget is actually an election budget. Do you share the same sentiment, sir? Since you're talking about pork barrel, among others.
I totally agree. Nararamdaman namin yan sa local government. Lawmakers, indiscriminately giving out AKAP funds, IX funds, itong mga ayuda na gusto pa nilang palabasin na akala mo sarili nilang pera yung kanilang ibinibigay. Nakita namin yan We have been conferring with the other mayors, also mayors for good governance at yung aking mga fellow mayors sa ating League of Cities. At ganun din ang aming mga similar observations na talagang halos unlimited ang pondo nila kung mamigay sila. Nabalitaan pa namin yung 77, yung famous na 777, na every time na sumama ka dun sa sortie ni Speaker, you get 777. Ito yung 21 million, a total of 21 million. 7 million na AIX, 7 million na AKAP, 7 million pa na tupad. O 21 million. Paano kung nakaapat ka na sortie na nasalihan? Tibig mo sabihin yun, 7 times 21. Yun yung mga allegations na binabanggit sa amin at in fact, reliable sources ang pinanggagalingan yan. Although these are allegations, reliable sources ang pinanggagalingan.
Ang sabi naman po ng House leadership ay nakakarating naman daw po direkta sa mga constituents nila. What can you say about that?
Ang nakakalungkot niyan is walang exchange of data with the local government. So ang nangyayari niyan, pwedeng magkaroon ng redundancy. So hindi equitable yung distribution. Kasi ayaw nga nilang i-share sa amin yung data. At alam mo ba na kami sa local government, halos wala kami natatanggap na AIX. Halos wala rin kaming natatanggap na MAIP, yung medical assistance for indigenous patient. Halos wala rin kami natatanggap na tupad. Nagmamakaawa pa kami. We have to beg sa mga lawmakers, lalo-lalo na sa Senate. Kung may kaibigan kami mga senador, doon pa lang kami nakakuha. Paano kung wala kaming kakilala? Paano ibang mga local government na walang kakilala? Walang matatanggap talaga. Sabihin na lang, ako siguro, most probably, siguro mga 80%. On 20% lang sa mga AIX fund, TUPAD fund, MAIP fund ang natatanggap ng local government.
Ibig niyo
The
sabihin
rest, ang umahawak yan are actually lawmakers.
So that's what I want to discuss nga, sir. So ibig sabihin, hindi automatic that, let's say, Baguio City, wala siyang certain percentage of people who will benefit from these ayuda programs. at hinihingi nyo pa sa mga lawmakers.
Yes, oo, kukuha kami sa lawmakers. Tapos hindi kami ang gumagawa ng listahan. Hindi yung Office of the City Mayor ang gagawa ng listahan. Pagkakuha namin ng pondo, ibibigay namin yan sa aming city social welfare because they know better kung sino nangangailangan. Because they have the list. Sila yung nag-conduct ng mga interviews, sila yung nag-conduct ng due diligence para malaman talaga who are the real indigents. Hindi yung ang binibigyan mo are your supporters. Tapos ang masama pa, pag binigyan mo yung supporters, hindi nila i-share sa amin yung listahan. So there is a huge possibility that once again, these same people will be receiving AIX or ayuda from the local government kasi hindi mo binibigay eh.
Nako.
Hindi namin nalalaman kung sino yung mga pinagbibigyan nila. Bawal daw, sabi nila sa amin. And they're invoking itong Privacy Act.